Okay, Adina, so we'll just continue on to our dietary consultations. I know you mentioned you wanted to chat a bit more about your diet and lifestyle.
Yes, that's right.
So I guess just to start off, to explain my scope of practice, being a health professional, I'm not an accredited dietitian or a nutritionist, and so therefore I'm not able to recommend any specific meal plans or anything like that. But what I thought would be helpful today would be to go through the Australian, the food groups and the dietary guidelines. So I can give you sort of general recommendations and advice. However, for any more further in-depth information, I can refer you to a dietitian as well. So it's probably a good start. Perfect. All right, so we can start by chatting through the dietary guidelines. So I have them handily printed out here. But basically we can just start, I'll just talk you through them broadly, and then we'll do a bit of a questionnaire to understand where you sit there, and then we can talk about how we might implement some strategies to improve your diet. So we've got a few guidelines here. So guideline 1 is around being active, maintaining a healthy weight. So especially around older people having a lot of nutritious foods, which is really important as we age. Guideline 2 is around a lot of fruit and vegetables. These are your food group based guidelines, which we'll go into on the next page in a bit more detail. Guideline 3 is around limiting discretionary choices, so saturated fats, oils, these kinds of things, high sugar foods. I know it's sometimes intuitive, but often not very easy to execute exactly to the T.
Sure.
Guideline 4 is around promoting breastfeeding, which may not be as relevant. I know you mentioned you're not pregnant, but still in there. And guideline 5 is around storing food safely. And again, it sounds intuitive, but very important for health that you're not eating any foods that aren't stored or cooked correctly. So we've got our 5 food groups here. I'll talk you through it. Fruit and veggie, just starting with veggies, legumes, beans. Super important. So you can see the kind of cup sizes here that makes up the serves. And at your age, you said you're 58.
That's right.
So you should be having about 5 serves of these every day. And as I'm kind of talking through, you can have a think about where you might sit, and then we can fill out the form. For fruit, so we mentioned having about 2 serves, so it's about 1 medium fruit or a cup of kind of diced fruit. Grains, so for your age, you're having about 4 serves of grains. Surprisingly, a slice of bread is 1 serve, so if you're having a sandwich, it would be 2. So just thinking about that, but also sort of 2/3 of a cup of whole grain sort of stuff. We're always saying to go for whole grain over white. We'll talk a bit more about this.
Yeah.
Meat, poultry, alternatives. Do you eat meat and poultry and seafood?
Do, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So about 2 servings of that per day. And then dairy, so milk, yogurt, cheese. About 4 serves of this per day as well.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a lot to take in, but it's really good to see how you can balance your day to get all this in, and then you'll feel much better. It will really help with your weight loss goals as well. Having lots of fruit and veggies and meats and reducing those discretionary choices as well. So I'll leave this here as a little reference. So you've got your cup sizes, a lot to remember. And then we'll just start going through this form. So I've got your details. And you said dietary goal was 5 kilos being the main one.
That's right.
By Christmas. Awesome. And do you have any dietary requirements? Anything to kind of take into? No. Cool. Nice and easy. So let's start with veggies, the fun one. How many serves would you say in a typical day you'd be having when you look at those kind of serving sizes?
Well, I have vegetables at lunch and I have vegetables at dinner. So looking at it now, I'd say about a cup of salad veg, which is 1 serve, and about a cup and a half of cooked veg, which looks like 3 serves to me. So 4 serves.
Perfect, so not too far off. Fantastic. Now how about fruit? Are you hitting that kind of 2 serves, or where are you around about in the day?
I don't really eat fruit actually, so probably 0 on average.
Okay, cool. Fine. So breads and cereals, where do you think you'd be falling with that?
I usually have a sandwich at lunch, so that would be 2 slices, so 2 serves, but that's about all.
Okay. So you're not generally having any sort of whole grains or any grains with dinner normally?
No.
Okay.
I I do have crumpets in the morning actually, so that would probably be an extra serve.
Okay.
Yep, 1 crumpet.
1 crumpet. Okay, cool. You're only having 1 at a time. Okay, cool. It's about 3 serves per day. Great. And then what about on the dairy? Yeah, for some reason it's swapped around. For dairy, how many are you generally having?
I don't really have much dairy. Maybe a little bit of milk in my tea, but that's about all. So maybe 0.
Yeah. And then how about meat and meat alternatives?
Meat with lunch, meat with dinner, eggs and bacon for breakfast. So maybe 4 serves.
Perfect. And then how many discretionary choices do you think you have in a week? So it's not on this form, but I do have a bit of info on this page you can look at. So one might be 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 thick or thin sausages, so processed meat falls in here as well. Snack packs of crisps and crackers, chocolates, donuts. Do you generally in your day have many discretionary choices?
Maybe, I'd probably say 4 to 6 serves a week. Maybe 1 per day.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not too much, it's good. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So, I guess we can just have a look at where you might be above or below what would be recommended. So we can start at the top with vegetables. So you're at 4, which is really good, but still a little bit below what the recommendation would be. So can you think about where there might be times in the day where you might be able to add a serve of vegetables, thinking about maybe snacks or...
Yeah, maybe for breakfast I could add some vegetables.
Yeah. Perfect. And then fruit, this would be another big one where you're not really hitting the recommendations. There's some awesome nutrients and vitamins in fruit. So is there any times in your day, again thinking maybe snacks, maybe breakfast, anything you could substitute out?
I could probably have some fruit with my crumpets in the morning.
Awesome. It'll make a big difference. You'll feel like a lot more energy and feel much better with more fruit and veggies.
That would be nice.
Great. So breads and cereals are actually a little bit below as well, so not too far. You're at about 3, 4 is the recommendation. So when you're having grains, are you generally choosing white or whole grain, or what sort of grains are you eating?
Generally white, because that's what my husband likes.
Yeah, okay. So would it be possible to, either for both of you, to move to more whole grain options, or for us?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Great source of fibre. Fantastic. And then dairy is another one that it's a bit of a gap to what the recommendations are. So thinking about where we might be able to add maybe yogurt or milk or any kind of dairy, just for a multitude of reasons, but particularly if you're working out, it's really good for your bone strength as you get into sort of a middle to older age as well. So
maybe some fruit and yogurt together for a snack.
That's a great.
That could work well.
That's a great one. Fantastic. And then your meat is good. It's probably just a little bit high. So maybe do you think there'd be some opportunities to reduce meat in some of your meals and replace it with other things that we've discussed?
Maybe the yogurt and fruit could be breakfast instead of my bacon and eggs.
Yeah, there's some great ideas. So cool, I'll just go over those strategies again and just make sure you're comfortable and we can commit to them. So maybe adding some vegetables throughout the day, particularly in breakfast if there's an opportunity to do so. Substituting white grains and carbohydrates for more of a whole grain brown option. Maybe substituting crumpets or some more carbohydrates in your day for fruit, and then potentially even adding yogurt, so really to get those fruit and dairy serves up. And maybe swapping out your bacon and eggs for some of those more nutritious options in the
Sounds
morning.
good to me. I think that's perfectly doable.
Fantastic, look at that. All right, great. I'll just pop my name in here. Great, all right, thank you.